Welcome to this model. In this model, I'm gonna speak about the carrier to noise ratio. A measure of the performance of a satellite link is the ratio of the carrier power to the noise power of the receiver input, and link budget calculations are often concerned with the determining this ratio only. So conventionally, this ratio is denoted by C by N or CNR, which is equal to PR divided by PN. So in terms of decibels, we can write C by N as PR minus PN. And the equation may be used for PR and PN, resulting in C by N is equal to EIRP plus GR minus losses minus K minus TS minus BN. The G by T ratio is the key parameter in specifying the receiving system performance. The antenna gain and the system noise temperature Ts can be combined. So as G by T is equal to GR minus Ts dB K per minus 1. And the total receiving system, which applies the results of the system noise temperature referred to the input as Ts is equal to T antenna plus T1 plus L minus 1 into T0 divided by G1 plus L into F minus 1 into T0 divided by G1. So, if we calculate the C by N ratio, then the link equation becomes C by N is equal to EIRP plus G by T minus losses minus K minus BN. The ratio of the carrier power to noise power density PR divided by N0 may be the quantity actually required. Since Pn is equal to KTN Bn, this is equal to N0 into Bn, then C by N is equal to C by N0 into Bn, that is equal to C by N0 minus Bn. And therefore, C by N0 is equal to C by N plus Bn. C by N is the true power ratio in unit decibels, and Bn is in decibels relative to 1 Hz or dB Hz. Thus, the units for C by N0 are dB Hz. So, substituting this for C by N gives C by N0 is equal to EIRP plus G by T minus losses minus K. So now let us look into an example. So in this example, they have given us in a link budget calculation at 12 gigahertz, the free space loss is 206 dB and the antenna pointing loss is 1 dB and the atmospheric absorption is 2 dB. The receiver G by T is 19.5 dB per Kelvin and the receiver feeder losses are 1 dB and the EIRP is 48 dB watts. And we have to calculate the carrier to noise spectral density ratio. So the data are now presented in the tabular form and in fact lend themselves readily to spreadsheet type computations. For brevity, the units are shown as decilogs and the losses are entered as negative numbers to take account of the minus sign. And we can recall that Boltzmann constant equal to minus 228.6 decilogs. So minus of K is equal to 228.6 decilogs. And entering data in this way allows the final result to be entered in the table cell as a sum of the terms in the rows above the cell. Feature usually incorporated in spreadsheets and word process. This is shown in this tabular form. So we have written all those things in dB. So free space losses minus 206 and the atmospheric absorption losses minus 2. Antenna pointing losses minus 1 and receiver feeder losses minus 1 and polarization mismatch losses 0 and receiver G by T ratio is 19.5 and EIRP is given as 48 and minus K is equal to plus 228.6 and therefore from the equation C by N0 is equal to 86.1 dB Hz. So this is the algebraic sum of the quantities given in the table. And next we'll move on to the uplink. The uplink of a satellite circuit is the one in which the earth station is transmitting the signal and the satellite is receiving it. So now the link budget equation can be applied to uplink, but I will use subscript U to denote specifically that uplink is being considered. Therefore, that the C by N0 equation becomes C by N0 of U is equal to EIRP of U plus G by T of U minus losses of U minus K. Well, K is a Boltzmann constant, so that's why we don't put suffix to K. And this equation, the values to be used are the earth station ARP and the satellite receiver feeder losses and satellite receiver G by T, and the free space loss and other losses which are frequently dependent or calculated for the uplink frequency. The resulting carrier to noise density ratio given by this equation is that which appears to at the satellite receiver. In some situations, the flux density appearing at the satellite receive antenna is specified rather than the earth station ARP, and we have to modify the equation as earth station ARP. And next, let us move on to saturation flux density. The traveling wave tube amplifier in a satellite transponder exhibits power output saturation. So the flux density required at the receiving antenna to produce the saturation of the TWTA is termed as saturation flux density. The saturation flux density is specified in link budget equation, and knowing it, we can calculate the required EIRP at earth station. So to show this, again let us consider that equation, that is IM, the flux density in terms of EIRP, repeated here for convenience, like yes, IM is equal to EIRP by 4 pi r square. So in decibel notation it can be written as and square brackets IM is equal to ARP plus 10 log 4 pi 1 by 4 pi r square. Okay. And but from this equation of FSL, we know that minus FSL is equal to minus 10 log lambda square by 4 pi plus 10 log 1 by 4 pi r square. Substituting this in this equation, we will get IM is equal to EIRP minus FSL minus 10 log lambda squared by 4 pi. The lambda squared by 4 pi term has dimensions of area, and in fact this equation is the effective area of the isotropic antenna. So denoting this by A0 gives A0 is equal to 10 log of lambda squared by 4 pi. And since the frequency rather than wavelength is normally known, we can rewrite that equation as A0 is equal to minus 21.45 plus 20 log F. Combining this equation and rearranging slightly gives us EIRP as EIRP is equal to IM plus A0 plus FSL. So this equation was derived on the basis that the only loss present was spreading loss denoted by FSL. But the other propagation losses are the atmospheric absorption loss, polarization mismatch loss, and antenna misalignment loss. So when we include all these losses in the equation, then your EARP will become as EARP is equal to IM plus A0 plus FSL plus AA plus PL plus AML. So in terms of total losses given by this equation, you can rewrite that EARP is equal to IM plus A0 plus losses minus RFL. This is for the clear sky conditions and gives the minimum value of EIRP, which the earth station must provide to produce a given flux density at the satellite. Normally, the saturation flux density will be specified with saturation values denoted by the subscript S. We can rewrite that equation as EIRPS of U is equal to IS plus A0 plus losses of U minus RFL. Now, let us look into an example. Here they have given us an uplink operates at 14 GHz and the flux density required to saturate the transponder is minus 120 dB watts per meter square, and the free space losses 207 dB and the other propagation losses amount to 2 dB. We have to calculate the earth station EIRP required for saturation assuming clear sky conditions. So assuming RFL is negligible at 14 GHz, A0 is equal to minus 21.45 plus 20 log 14, which will give you a value of minus 44.37. So in the losses in the propagation path amount to 207 plus 2, which is equal to 209 dB, and hence from this equation EIRP of S of U is equal to minus 120 minus 44.37 plus 209, which will give you 44.63 dB watts. And now let us move on to input back off. Input backup is nothing but, say for example, where number of carriers are present simultaneously in TWTA, so the operating point must be backed off to a linear portion of the transfer characteristics to reduce the effects of intermodulation distortion. Such multiple carrier operations occurs with a frequency division multiple access, and the point to be made here is that backoff must be allowed for the link budget calculation. Suppose that the saturation flux density for single carrier operation is known. Input backoff will be specified for multiple carrier operation, refer to as single carrier saturation level. The earth station EIRP will have to be reduced by the specified BO, resulting in the uplink value of EIRP of U is equal to EIRPS U minus BO of I. Although some control of the input to the transponder power amplifier is possible through the ground and TTC station, input BO is normally achieved through reduction of the EIRP of the earth station actually accessing the transponder. So we can write this equation as C by A naught of U is equal to psi S plus A naught minus BO of I plus G by T of U minus K minus RFL. So here is an example. So they have given us an uplink at 14 GHz requires a saturation flux density of minus 91.4 dB watts per meter squared and an input backoff of 11 dB. And the satellite G by T is minus 6.7 dB Kelvin per minus 1. And the receiver feeder losses amount to 0.6 dB, and we have to calculate the carrier to noise density ratio. So the calculations are best carried out in tabular form. Therefore, A naught is equal to minus 44.37 dB meter squared for a frequency of 14 gigahertz is calculated by using this equation. And we have saturation flux density as minus 91.4, and A naught at 14 gigahertz is minus 44.4, and input backoff is minus 11.0. And satellite saturation G by T is minus 6.7, and K is 228.6, and minus K is plus 228.6, and the receiver feeder loss is minus 0.6. And if you add these values, algebraic sum of the values will give you a total of 74.5. Thank you.